right, while you guys are getting seated, I want you to know that I understand that I'm talking about numbers and nobody likes to talk about numbers, okay? Stay with me. We're gonna have a little bit of fun, I promise. But we need to keep the energy up, all right? I'm feeding off your energy. Yeah, that's what I like to see. All right. So yes, I am talking about numbers, and not in the way that we normally talk about numbers. So numbers can tell us a lot about like what worked in the past, or like, you know, how we might be able to make changes for the future. And we will talk about some of that, but we're also gonna talk about like, what can social media analytics tell us about like maybe what's to come, okay? So we're gonna go through a lot of stuff, but I just want you guys to make one promise to me before I even get started, okay? I need everyone to promise me that they will do at least one of these things that I talk about, okay? Like, I'm gonna give you a lot of tactics here, but I need you to commit to just trying at least one of them, all right? Everybody can get something from this. I promise. I'm gonna go super nerd. I'm gonna go like not super nerd. We're all gonna be good, okay? All right, cool. So before we talk about anything in the future, I wanna take you back to my glory years here. So this is where I started in 2010. Yes, that is me crowd surfing in a basement, because that's what I did a lot of growing up. And see, all my friends were in these punk bands, and in order to know where they were going to be playing and when, we used this website called MySpace. Did anybody have a MySpace? Let's hear it from MySpace, yeah. That's how I learned to code. Did anybody else learn to code that way? Yeah, we had the best pages. I know it. I know you did. It was raining on your page. I got it. Cool. And this was great. We could get anywhere. Like, we were like, I know where they're going to play. I know when they're going to play. They could post pictures of their merch. But then like 2010 happened, and we all got enough viruses on our computer that we said, MySpace gotta go. It's gotta go. So we all went to Facebook, which was great. You know, obviously now Facebook is still here, so it was a good investment. But the problem was all of these small bands, they didn't have an audience on Facebook, and they didn't really know how to get an audience on Facebook. So this is when I became a social media manager. Yes, I said, don't worry, I can help you grow on Facebook. And remember, this is 2010, so attempting to grow meant we were attempting to go viral. You guys remember those days? Like, the best content is viral content. And this is how we measured it, right? We needed page likes, post likes, and virality. Because this is what Facebook analytics looked like at the time, right? And if I know you can't really see it, but like squint really hard, or like you can download, I'll give you the slides at the end of this. One of the actual metrics on Facebook at the time was virality, yeah. They reported on virality, the virality score, right? But you can see we have like probably a total of 10 metrics in Facebook analytics at the time. Y'all, my life was easy. Being a social media manager and reporting on analytics, easy. I got 10 things, I can make them all go up. Pretty freaking easy. But now, Facebook analytics looks like this. And you see how there's like all these tabs on the left-hand side? Each of those has like 10, 15, 20 metrics, right? That we're all like, oh my gosh, numbers, what do we do? And I know what you're thinking, right? You're thinking, Brianna, I just went through all these sessions. My mind is mush, and you're gonna try and talk to me about numbers. But like I said, I'm gonna make a promise to you. If you make a promise to me, you already made your promise. Here's my promise. I'm only going to talk about the numbers that matter, okay? We're gonna talk about like the actual things that you wanna track. So let's start with this. Who here believes that Facebook is telling you exactly why your content is or is not being shown? Who believes that's true? Facebook tells you exactly why they are not showing your content organically. No? None of you believe that when they only let you see 3% of your audience? All right, cool. Just remember that. So last year, Facebook released Creator Studio. You guys use Creator Studio? It was pretty sweet. Yeah, so we were in the middle of a pandemic. You remember that thing? It's still happening. So we were in the middle of a pandemic. A lot more people were using video. Facebook was like, all these people that have Facebook pages, they actually have access to like a lot of Facebook pages. We should probably make it pretty easy for them to manage all those things. So that's what Creator Studio is for. It's a place for you guys to manage Facebook pages and Instagram pages all in one place. You can schedule content, you can publish content, you can look at the analytics of how your content performed, right? And I was looking through this, I'm like, cool, you know, it's the same stuff that we've seen. But then I looked at it a little closer. We're getting new numbers about if we're A/B testing something, whether we have closed captioning on, if there's monetization, you know, we're all monetizing our social content now. But there was this new number, okay? It says distribution. And then it said it was 0.1 times, and it was in about the average range. And I was like, okay, distribution. Guys, Facebook is telling us exactly why they are or are not showing our content. All right? So you look at this and it says your average performance as your other posts within 21 days of publishing. It says there is 1.1 times less 1-minute views, 1.3 times less average view time, 1.1 less reactions, 1.1 less comments, and 1.2 times the shares. That's all I've got because I just told you exactly why Facebook is or is not showing your content. Come on, guys, come on. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? Yeah, so there's a distribution summary. Remember, we just went over all that, and that's pretty cool. All right, just kidding. Let's look at another one. So this is for a photo post, and it says, this was shown 2.4 times more than all of my other posts on average, right? And it's because there were 4 times more reactions, 3.9 times more comments, 1.3 times more post clicks, and 1.1 time less shares. Now, if I could use my little laser pointer and show you guys, I would, but I can't. So there's this thing under it, and it says understand your distribution, and then it says reactions is the metric likely having the biggest effect on the distribution of your post. Reactions. Remember like the like, funny, wow, whatever? I don't know about you guys. I've been in digital marketing for a while, and I thought we decided like 7 years ago that like likes and reactions, all those, didn't have that much of an effect, right? Like we're like, we need shares, we need comments. And then Facebook just told me reactions are what led to the biggest effect on this post. So I'm like, y'all, when I tell you I didn't believe it, I didn't believe it. I was so befuddled. In fact, that's a fun word, befuddled. Use that in the future. I was so befuddled that there was this little learn more tab, and I was like, Facebook, you're telling me more because you've got some splaining to do. And when I hit that learn more button, I stumbled upon gold, okay? So when you guys find the distribution metric and you see this learn more button, you need to go to it because I found a page of gold. This says key metrics for photo, like, and text posts. So basically any post other than video, right? And it says, I'm gonna read this very fast. Paying attention to the metrics driving the distribution score can help your content get more organic distribution on Facebook. The metrics are in order of what is most important for that particular content. The button at the top of each hover card highlights the metric most important for that particular content type. Helping on it helps you learn more. And then it lists out for us, okay, impressions, reactions, comments, shares, and post clicks are the metrics that are driving your distribution on Facebook. So if you can increase those, you're increasing your distribution, all right? They literally told us that. It's right here, it's on page. And then they tell us the same thing for videos. They say it's audience retention and average minutes watched, 1-minute video views. Fun fact, Facebook counts a view after 3 seconds of viewership. But they're actually measuring you on 1-minute video views, so keep that in mind. Reactions, comments, and shares. No post clicks. If you put a link in your video posts, it's not gonna have any effect on your distribution, all right? So now we know all the numbers we need to track. They just told us what numbers we need to track. Okay, so for videos, these are the KPIs. For every other thing, these are the KPIs. Y'all just completed. Go back, okay. Yeah, photo op. All right, oh, whatever. Did you guys get that? At the end of this, I'm going to share a link. It has all the slides to this and also the playlist that I listened to while creating this. So you guys can listen to my music with me, okay? Okay? Yeah! There we go. There you go. Okay, So you completed half the battle, because Facebook says to improve your distribution, you compare your highest performing and lowest performing and determine the narrative, visual, and topical elements that best engage your audience. Because all analytics is just gathering the right data and then finding trends and patterns so that you can make better decisions. Right? That's all analytics is. I know it's a little scary, right? I say like numbers, and people are like, you can just do that for me, and that's fine, I'll do it for you. But you can do it. I have faith. I have faith. The problem is with social media analytics and just analytics in general is we get a lot of numbers, right? We open dashboards and we have a lot of numbers. The hard part is finding the right numbers. So let's talk about some of the right numbers. I was in the second class to graduate with a degree in social media marketing at my college. Yes, I'm a child. But the thing that people always asked me, they would say, oh, that's great, but like, what even is the impact of social media on business? And I would have to sit there and kind of try and explain it to them. And I guess somebody asked somebody at Google that same question, right? So basically, I'm a Googler, in case you guys are wondering. Because now, if you go into Google Analytics, who has Google Analytics? Okay, when I come back next year, I need to see more hands, more hands. Google Analytics is free. It's free. It gives you a lot of information. Set it up, even if you don't know how to use it, okay? But anyways, so they have a whole social dashboard in Google Analytics now, and it'll tell you where your traffic is coming from. So you go to this little social report, it says Facebook sent this many people to your website, Twitter sent this many people. It even has Facebook stories and Instagram stories and tells you how many people came from that. And if you click on any of those, it tells you which URL was shared and how many people came from that URL, how long they spent on your website. Remember, like, we need to build connection with our people. If they're spending that much time on our website, that's an important metric to track, right? And how many pages on average that those people go through when they come from that platform and from that specific URL, okay? And I know you're thinking, there's someone out there thinking this. I'm going to pretend they're not in this room. I'm going to pretend that this is somebody that you have to report to. That's like, I need dollars, Brianna. And I'm like, cool, I get it. I like dollars too. So you can actually track the dollars, right? So instead of going to that social report that we just looked at, if you go to, you guys gonna write this down? Everybody have a pen? Acquisition, all traffic, source, medium. Okay, that's the menu path. And again, I'm gonna have these slides in my contact information. We'll get you guys set up, okay? If you look at this, you'll see that it lists Facebook as a referral. There's a lot of different Facebooks. And that t.co, that's Twitter. And then you also see LinkedIn on there. These are all your social media platforms. But you want to see the best part? Okay, so we get those acquisition, we get those behavior metrics, right? That, like, how many people came, how much time they spent. There are conversion metrics. And it's got dollars. Dollars, boom, that's value. So Karen, you can take that. We've got dollars. We've got them. It shows you your conversion rate, your transactions, and your revenue. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And if you, I just really like this slide. Karen, so if you knew anything about that client, though, like, this is for their YouTube channel, and they have 20 videos on the YouTube channel, and this is a year's worth of data, and you're looking at that. Well, I'm looking at that. I'm like, $980. If I think of 20 YouTube videos and all the time we put into prepping and recording, and is there really an ROI there? Yeah. You know those infomercials where it's like, but wait, there's more? There's going to be a few of those. But wait, there's more. If you go to, where'd those cameras go? Where are your cameras? You're going to want this. Pick up, yeah. There you go. Good. Okay, if we go conversions, multi-channel funnels, assisted conversions, okay? How many touch points on average did anybody go to school for marketing? Anybody go? Okay. How many touch points do they say on average you have to have with someone before they convert? Anybody? 7. Okay, that's what I was taught. It's different in every marketing book. Don't worry about it. They say 7. That's what I was taught. This shows you the different touch points. And this says that our YouTube channel, the same one that generated $981, contributed to $10,600 worth of sales for this client. So like YouTube isn't the end point. Like they're not watching a YouTube channel and then buying. But they watch a YouTube video and then they maybe go to our Facebook or they look us up on Google and they come back to our website and then they convert. Guys, we drive a lot of value, and I know all of you have been in a position where someone's like, I don't really know if this social thing is worth it, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know that there's money there. Social is a part of the bigger picture, okay? And a lot of times we're driving more assisted conversions than we are direct conversions. But when I played competitive soccer for 14 years, we always knew that the assist was just as good as the person that scored. Because at the end of the day, we got a goal, right? All right, cool. So we got value. And you're like, Brianna, I'm loving this. Who's loving this now? You guys loving it? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so we're going to go a bit deeper. All of my friends that are like, maybe I can nerd out with you a little bit on this level, you're going to love this one. So I built never mind, hold. You're like, okay, so I post all these things on Facebook, but they all have the same URL. And right now, Google's only letting me see like on a URL basis, right? So how do I know it at a post level? Well, there's this beautiful thing called UTM tracking. UTM tracking is basically just when you put like this crazy funky code at the end of your URL and it spits out magic, and now all of your analytics platforms know what that code means, right? And funnily enough, it's probably been hidden in plain sight for most of you. This is a screenshot of Agora Pulse, one of our sponsors. Thank you, Agora Pulse. And you can see that they have UTM tracking here. It's just defaulted off because a lot of people are like, I don't need that. I don't know what that is. You're going to want it. So, because you can create your own identifiers there. Remember when we did that acquisition all traffic source medium? Well, now you can create your own source medium here so it doesn't say t.co/referral, because what the heck does that mean? You can make your own identifiers, and that's going to show up in Google Analytics. Or you could get really nerdy like me and create your own UTM builder in Google Sheets. Super easy. I'll have this on the end of my slides too, that link. You'll get a playlist, you'll get the slides, and you'll get this UTM builder if you want to do that. If not, cool. So you can track all your own UTMs. This puts the date that I create the UTM in the UTM so that I know the exact date, the link, the source, and the medium that post came from. So now I know pretty exact what post is leading to conversions, right? So which would you prefer? Facebook /referral or Facebook Live and then a code for the date that it was posted? One of those tells you far more granular which posts are leading to conversions, right? And you don't just use it in that one view that I was showing you. You can use it all throughout Google Analytics. So this is behavior flow. So now I can see people that came from my Facebook Live on this date, this is how they interact with my website. How cool is that? I'm the only one that thinks that's cool. All right. It's fine, guys. It's fine. I get it. My wife does the same thing. So y'all, everything is in place. Like, we're getting really freaking close, okay? So now we've got all this data. We've got the exact data that we want. We got it. Now all that's left is to track the trends, okay? So these are the 4 questions that I want you to ask yourself. What leads to time on site? Because that time on site is time spent with brand, and we love time spent with brand, right? What leads to sales? Who doesn't love the dollars, Karen? We love the dollars. What pages are people going to from each post? Because this can tell you what content they actually care about. So remember that behavior flow we just saw? I can see, okay, they skipped that about page. There's been a lot of crap talking on about pages, but maybe they skipped the about page, but they went to one of our blog posts, and that blog post really resonated with them. Then we need to post more about that blog post or take snippets from that blog post and turn them into tweets and graphics and all that stuff, because that's the content that really matters to this audience. And then also, what other sources are they going to before converting? Because assists are just as important as the scorers, right? And this is where our effort needs to go. So you're like, okay, but that still just leaves me with numbers, Brianna, and how am I supposed to know what the numbers? I really like visualizations. I'm a very visual person. And so these are my two favorite ways to do it. So scatter plots, it's pretty easy to identify the outlier here. There's one dot way outside of the other ones, right? And this just tells me that the audience, so this is comparing all users to people that completed an event on Google Analytics. And we can see that this one source is bringing in a lot of traffic, but those people aren't completing events. So somehow that's not a qualified audience, and we know we need to change that up a bit, whatever strategy we have going on there. Another way is to plot trend lines against an average and see where are you going above and where are you going below average. Because that can really help us hone in on like what's actually working. And this makes decisions about content creation really easy because you can find the exact platforms that are leading to qualified traffic, the content type. If you plot it correctly, you can see what topics, what verbiage, what time of day, what audiences are converting and which ones you really need to hone in on, right? Okay, so we looked at how data, like looking at retrospective data can help us, but what can data tell us about the future of analytics? So we're given numbers for a reason. Like social platforms don't just give us metrics for fun and to stress us out. I mean, maybe sometimes, but most of the time, that's not their reasoning. So if we look at the new YouTube metrics that have been rolled out in the last 18 months, this was actually rolled out not too long ago. And this shows us returning users or returning viewers versus first-time viewers. And I'm like, okay, why does YouTube want us to care about that? Probably because they want us to have more return viewers and make that a strategy that we're really, really focused on. And that's just amplified by the fact that last year they also released new retention metrics. We always had these little graphs, but now they use machine learning to identify continuous segments, spikes, and dips, which was like cool. But they also are like tracking your intro and if people are watching your intro. And they've just volunteered the information to us that an intro is anything in the first 30 seconds. And that's when YouTube marks something as a view, is if people get through the first 30 seconds of a video, depending on the length of your video, right? So putting all that together, I say, well, YouTube just wants us to keep people on their platform and to keep bringing them back to their platform, right? So basically, we're just looking at where is attention lost and where is attention gained. And last year, we focused, well, maybe not last year, maybe the year before that, but we focused on subscribers and showing up in search for a very specific search term or getting more of these views, these 30-second views. But last year, there was also this like pandemic thing where most of us like just binge watched Netflix for a couple months. We did that infinite scroll thing on TikTok, and no matter how many times that guy popped up and said, hey, you've been watching far too long, you know, we just kept swiping past him. And we spent a lot of time on Clubhouse, right? So we have to figure out, how do we hold people's attention? Because Netflix can do it, TikTok can do it, Clubhouse can do it. And really, the best way to keep people's attention is to keep them coming back. And we can do that through exclusive content, which we've heard a little bit about today, and bingeable content, right? So we'll get into some of that here in a second. But before we do that, I want to look at Instagram too. So I want you guys to look at a screenshot of Instagram analytics. Where are your eyeballs going? I'm looking at eyeballs, looking at eyeballs. Where do your eyeballs go first? Probably the two biggest numbers on the screen. Yeah. And those two big numbers are interactions, which are calls, website clicks, profile visits, and something else, and discovery, okay? You remember when we had like that heated discussion of like, Instagram's gonna get rid of likes. What are we gonna do if we don't have our likes? That took up like this much of the screen. It was like this much. And even if we do look at those interactions that are like the comments, shares, saves, etc., the post interactions only make up 20% of that screen. The rest of it is stories, reels, Igtv, and live video. I want you to think about what all of those have in common. If we look at this, this is a Brian Fanzo story. And if you see he has a lot of stories, you tap through them, you see Brian's face. There's also reels, right? So this is the city of Tampa. You scroll up, it shows you the rest of their reels. We see Igtv, this is Barnes & Noble. This trick is hilarious, by the way. And if I swipe up on here, it shows me a series of these IGTVs. What do all these things have in common if you look at them? They take up the full screen. This is all immersive content. There's no posts above or posts below that you can see. There's no ads coming in. It's just you and that person spinning pizza dough, okay? That's it. It's just you and that person. You're spending that time with the brand. And a lot of this is like, we saw this working with Instagram stories, but then like TikTok came and we were like, whoa. People spend a lot of time with us when we are their only focus. This is a screenshot of a 31-second video that I posted on TikTok, the analytics for it. It had 663 views, which isn't a ton. 4 hours and 30 minutes of time has been spent watching that video. That's 4 hours where it's Bree and a new friend. Bree and a new client. No one else, nothing else in the sidebar. I know if they're watching that video, it's just me and them. And honestly, like if you think about immersive, this is kind of a sidebar, but if you think about immersive content and the fact that that's the only thing on the screen, it kind of feels like you're FaceTiming, right? And we only FaceTime the people that we love and that we're comfortable with. So that immersive content, I'm pretty sure our analytics are telling us when this takes up 80% of the screen, that's what we need to be focused on. That's what Instagram cares about at this point, right? Is how do we get more people in immersive content? So we're almost done. I'm gonna go speed round through some like really tactical stuff. Again, like I said, I have a link. You guys can download all the slides. It's full. We're almost done. We got this, all right? So first things first, look at the data that you have and find the patterns. Ask yourself the 4 questions that were on the trends thing. You don't need to take a picture of this because they're the same things that we talked about when we said track the trends, and I'll give you the slides, I promise. I'm nice. Sometimes it's worth reading that stupid learn more because you might find gold, right? It's kind of like mining for gold. Sometimes it's real technical and boring. Sometimes it's really, really important. Also, analyze the analytics. When you're given a new metric, don't just go, okay, great, something else I need to track. Go, now why does YouTube think I need to track my returning viewers? Ask yourself that question, right? And I know it happens a lot, so you got a lot of questions to answer. Keep your audience's attention. That's what we're in an attention economy, basically. And these are just some simple ways you can do that. Create series. Those keep people coming back. Create playlists. Those keep people binging. We love binging. Again, time spent with brand, right? If you binge with us, you buy with us. Tweet that. Create a schedule. I'm not a very consistent person, but I can commit to creating a schedule at the beginning of the month and letting people know this is when I'll be going live, or this is when I'm dropping a piece of content. Give people exclusive content. That looks like stories, and that looks like going live. Lives, they get the most out of it if they show up with you. Stories, they're around for 24 hours, right? Give them that exclusive content. And then I urge you to look up Phil Nottingham. He used to work at Wistia. He's a video strategist. He says be a media outlet. So like if you think about a Netflix series, before they release a Netflix series, they post about interviews with the actors. They post trailers. They post sneak peeks. They post behind the scenes, right? So be a media outlet for that big content that you're putting out. Because like Byron said, it's not like you just put it there and everybody's like, yay, we're so excited to see your content. We love it. I'm going to eat it up. They don't really, we got to get them excited to care. And then focus on immersive content. Okay, this is really where the future is pushing us. How do we have that one-on-one people and really, really build that relationship with our brands? Okay? Platforms tell us things, y'all. They're whispering in our ears. Our only job is to listen. We got to listen to them, okay? All right, that's me. That's analytics. You guys all committed to doing one of the things we talked about, Okay, even if that's just looking at your distribution score, you can do it. I have faith. Take a picture of this, go to the landing page, listen to the playlist, we'll vibe together, and I'll be at a table talk. But other than that, y'all killed it. This was Social Media Week Lima.